Hello everybody, welcome to the Go language course. In this video, I'm going to discuss the use of errors in Go language. Before I start the discussion, I have to import the main package at the beginning of the Go language file. And also I have to import the fmt package so that I'm able to use the printline function coming from this package, okay? And after that, I can go to the main function first. So that is the main function, and let us introduce the use of errors in Go language first. When the code cannot execute further, we will have error messages to come out, and the code will just stop running further, even if there is some other code that is not run after the line that generates an error. That means when we have errors, the error message will come out and the program will stop and it will not go further. So the errors will try to stop our program. And if we have the error messages to come out, the error will become irrecoverable. That means we cannot allow the program to run the remaining part of the code after the line that generates this error. So let us see this example. We have a simple way of doing division, and we have a division by zero error coming out, and we have a built-in error in Go language. Let us see what is the result coming from this division error. Okay, you can see that I'm not able to do the division because I would just have a number to be divided by 0, which is not allowed. So the program would just panic, and I'm able to show the line number that is going to stop the program from running further. So you can see that I'm not able to do the division here, and that's why the program would stop. Okay, so that is the error message, and I cannot go further, and the program will just stop when it sees an error. So how can we handle errors if there is such a thing in our program? Go language would have many ways to handle the errors to make an error recoverable. That means we can go further after seeing an error and the program can just execute normally. It will not be stopped by the error. So let us go to the way to create an error by ourselves. We can use the new function coming from the errors package. So in order for me to create an error, I have to import the errors package first. After that, I can use the new function. Let us see how we can import the errors package. I just go to the import command and I say double quotation marks errors. Then I'm able to really include the package that allows us to use the new function. Okay, let us see. I'm going to have a function called do something, and it is going to generate an error value of error type, and the error will be stored in this variable called err. So this is the do something function, which will return an error variable, and I just say return errors.new followed by the error message. Okay, so the return type is of course error shown here. Okay, and this errors package is already imported so that I'm able to use the new function coming from this package. Okay, so the result will be just stored in the err variable, and of course in my case now the err value is not null. That's why I would be able to print out the error message coming from the do something function. Okay, so let us try to run this program. Okay, you can see that we have the message shown here, error, and we have the message coming from the do something function, which is an error. Okay, the error is generated by the new function. Okay. Another way of creating errors is by using the Errorf method. F means format. That means we can format our error message. And the Errorf function is in the fmt package already, so we don't need to import the errors package in order to use the Errorf function. And let us go to the divide function to illustrate the use of the Errorf function. Now we have the divide function, which is going to show an error message if the divisor is 0. That means if b is 0, I'm not able to do the division. I will just return an error of error type, of course. and I will say that the value of the division is 0, and I will also return a variable of error type, okay? And the error can be formatted by using the errorf function. So I have an integer here, so I just put this a in the form of an integer, okay? If the division is allowed, I just return the result of the division, and I will say that the error is nil, okay? So of course, after running the divide function, I'm able to show two results. One is called the quotient, and the other is called the error message, okay? If the error message is not nil, I can print out the error, otherwise I just print out the quotient, okay? And the error here will be in formatted style, indicated by the $D symbol here. So let us try to run the program. Okay, you can see that I cannot divide 5 by 0, okay? So this a will be put into here, and the format is just following d here, which means an integer, okay? Now, let us talk about custom errors. What is a custom error? There is actually an error type for making custom errors in Go language. Custom errors is something like this. In Go language, the error type is defined as an interface with a single method, which is this one. So in Go language, we have an interface called error, and in this interface, I have an error method, and the method will return a string. So if a structure implements the error interface, I need to implement the error method so that the structure would be able to produce an error. So here, any type that implements this method is considered an error. And let us refer to the doOtherThing function as an example here. So let us see the doOtherThing function here. This function would return an error, and the error to be returned will be of my error type. So I have the code and the message. What does it mean by the my error type here? Let us see. My error type is here. So this is simply a structure that contains the code in the form of an integer and the message in the form of a string, okay? And for this my error structure, I can implement the error method so that I'm able to use the error interface to make my error method. In order for the error interface to implement the error method, I have to say something like this. Func e pointer to my error, and then error string here, okay? So the e here is just a pointer to the my error instance, okay? And for this error function, I would just say sprintf, and I would just put the my error instance here, and I take the code of the my error instance, and I also take the message of the my error instance, okay? So when I put the pointer to my error type here, I'm able to get the instance pointer, and the instance pointer is able to help me get the code and the message, okay? So when we run the doOtherThing method that is going to use the my error structure, I can just return the address of this my error instance with the code as this one and the message as this one. So the my error type is already implementing the error interface. That's why when I say my error here, I'm able to return an error by doing the sprintf function here, okay? So the idea is to implement the error method of the error interface on my error struct, which is a built-in interface, and the error method would just return an error message or nil, okay? So let us see the result of running this part of the code. You will expect that I will have some error to come up, because the error to value will not be nil. Yes, you will see that the error message will be something like this one. Coming from the doOtherThing function here, you will see that I'm able to produce the error. Okay, the error instance would have the code and the message as follows. Code is 404 and message is not found. And then I just return the address of the my error instance. And when I use the my error instance, I'm able to use the error method that I created by implementing the error interface, and this error interface would have the error method that prints out this line of code to show the code and the message of my particular instance indicated by that pointer, okay? And then let us talk about wrapping or unwrapping an error. We can really wrap an error to include more information about the error contextually. So what does it mean by wrapping an error? Let us see here. We can make an error instance by using the new function, and then we can make an error message containing the error instance by using the Errorf function. And then we can just go to the example here. I have a function called wrap error function. Okay, the wrap error function is here. So I have a new method to create an error, and the error is called base error here. And then I can use the Errorf function to really create an error to be printed out. And I have the formatter here, $w, which means I want to wrap the error into the Errorf method. Okay, so errors.new is already a method, and I want to wrap the error into the Errorf method. Okay, so that's why I have to say $w to do the wrapping for me. So the error is already wrapped in another error method. And since the base error is already wrapped, if we want to see the content of the wrapped error, we have to do the unwrapping. So how can we do the unwrapping? Let us see this example. I can use the errors.unwrap function to get back the wrapped error, so that I'm able to retrieve the base error that is already wrapped in the Errorf method. So how can we do so? Let us see. So first I call the wrap error function, so that I will have an error coming out, which is obtained by the Errorf function. So this one will be returned as error 3, and this error 3 would include a wrapped error called base error here, okay? And if the error is not new, what will I do? I will try to show the error content, and the error content would include a wrapped error, okay? And how can I get the wrapped error? I can do the errors.unwrap method, so that when I put my error into the unwrap method, I'm able to obtain the wrapped value, which is the base error. So of course the wrapped error is not new. That's why I'm able to show the wrapped error. So let us see the result of running this part of the code. Yes, that is the answer. So for the first time, I would just print out the error as the entire string here coming from the wrap error function, okay? And we see that we have the wrapped error here, which is called the base error. And how can I get the base error back? I can use the errors.unwrap method to obtain the error being wrapped in the current error called err3, okay? And of course I can get back the wrapped error as base error shown on the second line, okay? So this video has discussed the use of error messages. If we don't handle the errors properly, the errors will become irrecoverable. It will stop our program from going further. That's why it is better to handle the errors if it is expected to exist, okay? So that the program will become recoverable. We can create our own errors by using the new function. We can also create our methods by using the Errorf function so that the errors will be formatted. We can also create our custom errors by implementing the error method contained in the error interface. Also, we can handle the wrapping or the unwrapping of the errors by using the wrapping shown here, indicated by the $w verb, and by using the errors.unwrap method, I'm able to get back the wrapped error. This is the end of the video. If you have any questions about my video, please leave your questions on the comment section below the video. If you like this video, please give me a like and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.